Dev. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Narayanam Namaskritya Naram Chaiva Narottamam Devim Saraswatim Vyasam Tato Jayam Udirayet. Nashtaprayeshu Abhadreshu Nityam Bhagavata Sevaya. Bhagavate Uttama Shloke Bhaktir Bhavati Neshtike. Om Jnana Timirandasya Jnananjana Shalakaya Chakshur Unmilitam Yena Tasmai Shri Gurave Namaha. Sri Caitanya Manobhistam Sthapitam Yena Bhutale Swayam Rupa Kadamayam Dadati Swapadantikam Vandeham Shri Guru Shri Yuta Padakamalam Shri Gurun Vaishnavamscha Shri Rupam Sagarajatam Sahagana Raghunathan Vitam Tam Sajivam Sadvaitam Savadutam Parijana Sahitam Krishna Chaitanya Devam Shri Radha Krishna Padan Sahagana Lalita Shri Vishakhan Vitamscha. He Krishna Karuna Sindhu Dinabandhu Jagatpate Gopesh
Gopishta Gopika Kanta Radha Kanta Namaste Tapat Kanchan Gaurangi Radhe Vrindavaneshwari
Rishabhanu Sute
Devi Parmani Hari Priya
Nama Om Vishnu Padaya Krishna
Krishna
Prishtaya
Krishnaya Bhutale
Srimate Bhakti
Bhaktivedanta Swamini
Namaste Saraswati Deve
Devi
Gaura
Gaurapani Pracharini
Nirvishesha
Nirvishesha Sunyavadi Vashi
Shatarine Vanchakalpa Tarubhyascha Kripa Sindhu Bhadevacha Patitanam Pavanebhyo
Nebhyo Vaishnavbhyo Namo Namaha
Jai Sri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu
Nityananda
Nityananda
Gadadhara Shiva
Bhakta Vrinda
Gaura
Hare
Bhakta
Hare
Hare Krishna Hare Krishna
Krishna Krishna Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare Hare. So we continue today morning with our reading of Srimad Bhagavatam, Canto 3, Chapter 5, Text 44, where the demigods are praying to the Supreme Lord. Yatsa nubande sati dehagehe mamaham iti uddha durga haranam pumsam suduram vasato apipuryam bhajema tatte bhagavan padabjam. O Lord, persons who are entangled by undesirable eagerness for the temporary body and kinsmen, and who, bound by thoughts of mine and I, are unable to see your lotus feet, although your lotus feet are situated within their own bodies. But let us take shelter of your lotus feet. Purport by His Divine Grace, A.C. Bhaktivedanta Swami Srila Prabhupada. The whole Vedic philosophy of life is that one should get rid of the material encagement of gross and subtle bodies, which only cause one to continue in a condemned life of miseries. So we have a gross body and a subtle body. Our gross body is this, what we can see, our eyes, ears, nose, the full body that we can see. It's made up of earth, water, air, fire, and ether, the 5 gross elements. And then what about the subtle body? What's the subtle body? Does anybody know that?
Mind, intelligence, and false ego.
That's right. That's right. That's our subtle body. So it is like, for example, we see a coconut. You know, when we have a coconut, a brown color coconut, so there is the white pulp inside. So we can assume that to be the soul, for example. And then the hard shell covering that white pulp, that's the subtle body. And then covering the subtle body is the gross body, the hair which is there. So if we take the example of the coconut, we can understand that we, the soul, we are there, the living entity, and we are covered by the subtle body, mind, intelligence, and false ego. And then we are covered by this gross body, this body that we can see. Now the whole Vedic philosophy, all the Vedas, so the Vedas are so vast. And what is the aim of all the Vedas is that we should give up our attachment to this gross and subtle body. What happens is when we die, we give up this gross body. But the subtle body goes with us to the next body. That's where all our desires, all our samskars are imprinted in the mind. So the super soul, the soul, and the subtle body, then we go into the next body. So we have to give up this, not only this gross body, but also the subtle body to be liberated from this material world. This material body continues as long as one is not detached from the false conception of lording it over material nature. The impetus for lording it over material nature is the sense of mine and I, and mine and I. I am the Lord of all that I survey. So many things I possess, and I shall possess more and more. Who can be richer than I in wealth and education? I am the master. I am God. Who else is there but me? All these ideas reflect the philosophy of aham mama, the conception that I am everything. Persons conducted by such a conception of life can never get liberation from material bondage. But even a person perpetually condemned to the miseries of material existence can get relief from bondage if he simply agrees to hear only Krishna Katha. So we are all having this conception, I and mine. We are in the material body, we are thinking this body is me, is mine. Everything that is related to this body is mine. And I can do anything I want, whenever I want, I'm independent. We have some conception of God to some degree. Okay, I know the ultimate control is God, but still we think that we are God also, you know. I did it. It's because of me I was able to do such a great thing. Now, but what to do? What to do? Because of this, we are in the material world and we will continue to live in the material world. So what's the solution? How do we get up? We simply have to hear Krishna Katha submissively and attentively. In this age of Kali, the process of hearing Krishna Katha is the most effective means to gain release from unwanted family affection and thus find permanent freedom in life. The age of Kali is full of sinful reactions, and people are more and more addicted to the qualities of this age. But simply by hearing and chanting of Krishna Katha, one is sure to go back to Godhead. Therefore, people should be trained to hear only Krishna Katha by all means in order to get relief from all miseries. So it's just a simple process. Krishna is very kind. He knows we are lazy, we are unfortunate, we have short lives, we are quarrelsome, we have a lot of sinful desires. You know, he knows all this. So he's made the process easy for us to go back home. He does not condemn us to live here perpetually in the material world, you know, suffering the miseries. He says, you just hear and chant my name, and you will be free from the miseries and you can come back home, back to Godhead. Now, there are many people who do the propaganda, hear about me, speak about me. You know, we see the big billboards of politicians, of film stars, of entertainers. Everybody is saying, talk about me, think about me. So is Krishna the same way? He's saying, talk about me, think about me. Is he like all these ordinary people who also want to get our attention? You know, they want to get our attention. That's why they'll send some news, some Twitter or something so that people can think about them. Now, the ordinary people, what we do, we want others to think about us so that we can become popular. They can give us votes. If we are politicians, then we can become, we need their votes. If we are entertainers, we want to get popularity so that people can say, oh, this entertainer is so popular. But Krishna is not like that. He's not like that. He's saying, think about me, speak about me, chant my names. What happens in that? When we do that, we get benefited. He is God, he doesn't need. But we get benefited, we get purified, and then we get self-realized, understand who we truly are. And in that way, we can go back home, back to Godhead. Is that okay?
Yes.
So text 45. Tam vahi asad pritibhir akshibhirye pararad tantar manusha paresha atho na pashyanti urrugayanunam yatte padanya savilasa lakshayaha. O great Supreme Lord, offensive persons whose internal vision has been too affected by external materialistic activities cannot see your lotus feet, but they are seen by your pure devotees, whose one and only aim is to transcendently enjoy your activities. As stated in the Bhagavad
I
Gita.
just wanted to ask, so this is still the demigods are praying on the lotus feet of Krishna, right?
Yes.
Okay.
Still glorifying and yes.
Yes, glorifying the lotus feet. Okay.
Yes. So the Lord is situated in everyone's heart. It is natural that one should be able to see the Lord at least within himself. But that is not possible for those whose internal vision has been covered by external activities. The pure soul, which is symptomized by consciousness, can be easily perceived even by a common man because consciousness is spread all over the body. So the symptom of the soul is consciousness. The soul is always pure. Each of us, we are pure spirit souls. Right now, the contamination is that we think we are the body. So the symptom of the soul is consciousness, and this consciousness is spread throughout the body. So that's the reason when if our finger gets hurt, we feel hurt. Similarly, if the soul was not inside the body, you even cut the finger, do whatever you do, it doesn't matter. It's just a dead matter there. The yoga system, as recommended in Bhagavad Gita, is to concentrate the mental activities internally, and thus see the lotus feet of the Lord within oneself. But there are many so-called yogis who have no concern with the Lord, but are only concerned with consciousness, which they accept as the final realization. Such realization of consciousness is taught by Bhagavad Gita within only a few minutes, whereas the so-called yogis take continuous years to realize it because of their offenses at the lotus feet of the Lord. The greatest offense is to deny the existence of the Lord as separate from the individual souls, or to accept the Lord and the individual soul as one and the same. The impersonalists misinterpret the theory of reflection, and thus they wrongly accept the individual consciousness as the supreme consciousness. So Bhagavad Gita, in the second chapter itself, Krishna says that he tells to Arjuna that we are the spirit souls, not the body. But the yogis, they take lifetimes and lifetimes trying to meditate, trying to understand this soul. And in that endeavor, they think that that's the end. That's the end of their endeavor. That's the reason they're offensive to the Supreme Lord, because of denying the existence of the Supreme Lord, because of denying that there is an eternal relationship between the Lord and the individual soul. So we have consciousness, we are conscious of only our body here because we are inside our own body. But Krishna He's the supreme conscious. He's everywhere. And yet he's a person. It doesn't mean because he's conscious, he doesn't have a form. Similarly, it doesn't mean that because we are a spirit soul, we do not have a form. We have a spiritual form. That's our swarup. And we have to realize our spiritual form. That is self-realization. The theory of the reflection of the Supreme can be clearly understood without difficulty by any sincere common man. When there is a reflection of the sky on the water, both the sky and the stars are seen within the water. But it is understood that the sky and the stars are not to be accepted on the same level. The stars are parts of the sky, and therefore they cannot be equal to the whole. The sky is the whole, and the stars are parts. They cannot be one and the same. Transcendentalists who do not accept the Supreme Consciousness as separate from the individual consciousness are as offensive as the materialists who deny even the existence of the Lord. And so a very nice, easy example is given here, that when we are seeing in the reflection in the water, we can see at night the sky also and the stars also. But the stars and the sky are different. They are not the same. Similarly, we, the individual souls, and God, we are different. We are not the same. We are same in quality. Yes, we are all Brahman. We are Brahman. Krishna is the supreme Brahman, the Para Brahman. Such offenders cannot actually see the lotus feet of the Lord within themselves, nor are they even able to see the devotees of the Lord. So Krishna is in everyone's heart as the Paramatma. But if we deny he exists, then of course we won't be able to see him. No? For example, if the sun is out and then it's day and its sun is out, but I purposely close the curtains and I say there's no sun, then who can save me? Who can tell me that, oh, the sun is out, if I don't want to believe it? The devotees of the Lord are so kind that they roam to all places to enlighten people in God consciousness. The offenders, however, lose the chance to receive the Lord's devotees, although the offenseless common man is at once influenced by the devotee's presence. In this connection, there is an interesting story of a hunter and Devarishi Narad. A hunter in the forest, although a great sinner, was not an intentional offender. He was at once influenced by the presence of Narad, and he agreed to take the path of devotion, leaving aside his earth and home. But the offenders Nalakover and Manigrave, although living amongst the demigods, had to undergo the punishment of becoming trees in their next lives, although by the grace of a devotee, they were later delivered by the Lord. Offenders have to wait until they receive the mercy of the devotees, and then they can become eligible to see the lotus feet of the Lord within themselves. But due to their offenses and their extreme materialism, they cannot even see the devotees of the Lord. Engaged in external activities, they kill the internal vision. The Lord's devotees, however, do not mind the offenses of the foolish in their many gross and subtle bodily endeavors. The Lord's devotees continue to bestow the blessings of devotion upon all such offenders without hesitation. That is the nature of devotees. So what is the, how do we get saved then? We are all here in the conditioned world. It's because of the compassion of the devotees. Bhakti comes from bhakta. And that's the reason the devotees are going everywhere. They come to our house, to our offices, they come knocking on the door, they are out on the streets chanting. Why? Because they want to give Krishna to everyone. They want to give Krishna to everyone. And this story here is of Mrigari the hunter. Mrigari the hunter was able to, he immediately took up the instructions of Narad Muni. And that's the reason he became a great devotee. Whereas somebody who totally disregards the existence of God and say God does not exist, then he's not able to take advantage of the association of the devotees. But the devotees are very merciful and compassionate, that even if they are offended personally, they don't mind. They still continue to give Krishna to everyone, because they know everyone's real eternal position is to go back home, back to Godhead, be connected with Krishna. Is that okay?
Yeah. Yes.
Say, Panena te deva katha shuddhayaha pravritta bhaktya vishadashaya vishadasayaye vairagya sharam pratilabhya bodham yatha jasan viyur akuntha tishnyam. O Lord, persons who, because of their serious attitude, attain the stage of enlightened devotional service, achieve the complete meaning of renunciation and knowledge, and attain the Vaikuntha Loka in the spiritual sky simply by drinking the nectar of your topics. The difference between the impersonalistic mental speculators and the pure devotees of the Lord is that the former pass through a miserable understanding of the absolute truth at every stage, whereas the devotees enter into the kingdom of all pleasures, even from the beginning of their attempt. The devotee has only to hear about devotional activities which are as simple as anything in ordinary life, and he also acts very simply, whereas the mental speculator has to pass through a jugglery of words, which are partially facts and partially a make-show for the maintenance of an artificial impersonal status. In spite of his strenuous efforts to attain perfect knowledge, the impersonalist attains merging into the impersonal oneness of the Brahmajyoti of the Lord, which is also attained by the enemies of the Lord, simply because of their being killed by him. The devotees, however, attain to the highest stage of knowledge and renunciation and achieve the Vaikuntha Lokas, the planets in the spiritual sky. The impersonalist attain only the sky and does not achieve any tangible transcendental bliss, whereas the devotee attains to the planets where real spiritual life prevails. With a serious attitude, the devotee throws away all achievements like so much dust, and he accepts only devotional service, the transcendental culmination. So here the demigods are giving the comparison of the devotee, the bhakta, and the jnani. The jnani, after they have to undergo a lot of mental endeavor, trying to understand what the words are. And then there is a lot of misinterpretation of the words, misinterpretation of the facts. So that leads to a lot of doubts and a lot of confusion. But what is the result of all this endeavor is that they can just attain to the divine light, to the Brahman, only to the Brahman effulgence. But what about the devotee? A devotee from the beginning itself, bhakti is very pleasing. What we have to do, we just hear Krishna Katha. Oh, Krishna did like this, Mother Yashoda did like this, the gopis did like this. That's all. And by just hearing Krishna Katha, we are getting purified. And what the devotees do, sing and dance and eat opulent food, which is offered to Krishna. So it's all blissful. The activities of bhakti are all joyful, all full of happiness. There is no artificially repression of desires. There's no artificial saying, oh, no, I cannot enjoy because that's bad. But a devotee enjoys in connection to Krishna. So the whole process is very joyful and happy. And then what happens after the devotee gives up this body? He goes to the highest destination, highest liberation, which is entering the Vaikuntha planets. And over there, the devotee lives in his spiritual body, never to come back again to this material world. Any questions, comments? Anything to share?
I just heard yesterday about the trees of Vrindavan, like you're saying that the trees of Vrindavan are like, great, great rishis, and they are there. So Amrendra Prabhu mentioned that you can go there and you can, embrace them, because they are those great rishis. They are like the kalpa vraksha. They are the desire fulfilling trees. And he said that in the ones of Vrindavan, the trees are, they are so tolerant that because Krishna used to come in Vrindavan and he used to visit all, so they know that might be Krishna is somewhere. They're not missing Krishna, in the sense that they know that in one day Krishna will not come everywhere. So maybe Krishna isn't, they don't know that the Krishna is not there in Vrindavan right now. So it was so good. The way he narrated, I can't express. Like, you would fall in love with the trees. Any tree, you would want to go and embrace that tree after hearing that. It was so beautifully described, that they are so tolerant. The most tolerant is the tree. And then Chaitanya Mahaprabhu came, and then he glorified the trees more and more. Like, I think he narrated one of the verse, I'm not remembering, that he was expressing the grass and the tree. They are so special, and they are so tolerant. So be like a tree. If one thing we can do is just be tolerant like a tree. It was so beautiful.
Very nice, so nice. Thank you for sharing. I think the verse he must have recited was Trinadapi Sunichena, Taror Api Sahisnuna, Amanena Manadena, Caitanya Sadahari. Is that
Yeah, I'm sure it must be that.
So that is, Lord Chaitanya says that how can we constantly chant the holy name of Krishna? Because how can we chant constantly? Be more tolerant than a tree. Be more humble than a grass. Give all respect to others and don't expect any in return. And in such a state of mind, one can constantly chant the holy name of Krishna. So what does it mean? That a devotee has to, because there's so many things that will keep coming the way of the devotee, but we just have to tolerate, having confidence, having faith that Krishna is my best well-wisher. He knows what he's doing. He's taking care of me. A devotee has that full confidence in Krishna, and that's why he can be so tolerant. And then more humble than a blade of grass. So what happens is, when we walk on the grass goes down, but when nobody's walking on it, it will come back up again. But Chaitanya Mahaprabhu says, don't be like that. Be more humble than the grass. Don't expect any honor for ourselves. He says that because we are always looking for respect for ourselves, honor for ourselves. We love that, pratishtha. That's the reason we are here. I did it. It's because of me. So he's like, don't get so attached to this I, and appreciate others. Appreciate everyone else. Give that honor to everyone. So that's how then he said we will be able to chant the holy name of the Lord constantly. So we should endeavor in that. And then the more we chant, the more we will be able to imbibe these qualities. So it goes both ways. We try to cultivate these qualities also, of tolerance, of humility, of appreciation of others, and not wanting respect for ourselves. We try to cultivate them also. And also, the more we chant the holy name, the more we will be able to imbibe these qualities. So, and this verse, Krishnadas Kaviraj Goswami, the author of Chaitanya Caritamrta, he says that we should tie this verse around our neck. That this is the foundation of how our attitude should be. So we should try to meditate on it, try to cultivate it, try to hear about it. Pray to have these qualities. Pray to the holy name, pray to Krishna, to the devotees to have these qualities.
Can you please share the verse?
Exactly. I was going to tell that only. Could you share?
I'll post it. It is the third verse from the Shikshastakam. Lord Chaitanya left only 8 verses in the written form. And this is the third verse coming from there. And I will post it. Many devotees in many temples recite the full Shikshastakam every day. And because it's so purifying. And Shikshastakam, it shows that what is the glory of the holy name. And just by chanting the holy name, how our consciousness is transformed. Our consciousness is transformed and achieve the highest, most purest consciousness. Is purified by chanting the holy name. So I will share the verse and thank you.
Along with the verse, can you please share the meaning as well, please?
Yes. Shikshastakam. You want it only of this verse or you want of the full Shikshastakam?
I would like the full one. I would want to read it once, the meaning of it. Yeah.
Okay. I will share it.
It's written by whom?
Lord Chaitanya.
Lord Chaitanya.
Lord Chaitanya has given these Shikshastakam verses. And these verses, they appear in Caitanya Caritamrta, but because he spoke them at different timings, but the devotees, they compiled it and put them together. He left behind only 8 verses as instructions in form. And yes, I will share it. Thank you, Neha, for giving us this opportunity to speak about Shikshastakam.
I'll try and share more of Amrendra Prabhu lectures if I find them. They are live, so whenever I find them, I'll share more. They are amazing. Like the Venu Geet, you will drown into it. It's like, it's like the ocean and you can't stop concentrating and enjoying it. It's so lovely narration that sometimes I said, oh my God, what am I doing sitting here? What are we doing? I mean, oh God, it is, all glories to him and all glories to all the devotees who are giving us Krishna, and all glories to you too. Really, thank you.
So nice. Thank you for your nice, it makes me also to try and hear it, now. Actually, I read a few verses of the Brihad Bhagavatamrita the other day. And that's the part where Gop Kumar, Brihad Bhagavatamrita, one of the part of it is the journey of Gop Kumar, his journey from this Bhumi Vrindavan right up to Golok Vrindavan. How he's going to different higher planets, how he's reaching the different Vaikuntha planets also, and how he's ultimately reaching Golok Vrindavan. And then his meeting with Krishna. And how Krishna, when he sees Gop Kumar, he faints because Krishna is so happy to see Gop Kumar. And then you came back. I've been missing you for so long. And you came back and Krishna faints. And then everybody's like, they don't know what to do. And then Balaramji, he tells Gop Kumar, you put your hands around Krishna's neck and you tell him you're here, then Krishna will know that you're here because Krishna was so ecstatic. So like that, Krishna is waiting for each one of us. He's waiting to embrace us. It's we are neglecting him. It was so amazing. I feel I want to read the Brihad Bhagavatam. I haven't read the whole thing, but I was just reading this part, a bit of it. It was really amazing. So anyway, maybe after the Bhagavatam we can read that. So thank you so much.
Thank you.
Hare Krishna. Srimad Bhagavatam ki jai, Shila Prabhupada.
Thank you very much.
Thank you.